If you've ever thought that you just couldn't do the really cool things that other people have accomplished because you don't have the right tools, the resources, or you don't know the right people, you're in the right place. Today is going to be the day that you start the thing. Let's go ahead and get into it. I would love to see a world where we are all empowered to do the things that we've grown up wanting to do, achieving the dreams that we've always desired. So, the reason why I continue to do my podcast, but also to create it in a way that serves not only me, but everyone around me, is because I know that it's fully possible for everyone, including you, to achieve your dreams. And I'm saying this because I'm actively taking the action. I'm doing the things. And let me tell you, it's been so incredibly fun. There are a few things that I've learned, but hopefully, armed with this information, you can then take your next step today. So, you might already be super established in your business. Things are going really well, but you're working so hard and you've lost the joy in your business. You could be a mom sitting at home, loving and caring for your little ones, but you're lacking the desire to go do the fun things that you used to do once before. Or you just haven't connected with your friends because you don't think they have any interest in hanging out with you because you've got babies. Whatever it looks like for you, I'm here to tell you today is the day. Now is the time to step out of that limiting mindset of nobody wants me, nobody needs to hear from me. And, I'll live another day. It'll be okay. I'll do this tomorrow. Because we all hear that tomorrow is not guaranteed. We all know that tomorrow might not be here for you or for me. So, what's going to make today different? How can you take the steps today to get to exactly where you want to be? I can't promise that you're going to make it to the end of the journey. What I will promise is that you'll find joy in the steps that you do take. And again, it's from me taking action here recently. Now, it's not taking actions for years, so I can't give you any data behind what I'm doing, but I can tell you that the reactions that I've caused, the people that I've connected with, the conversations that I have had have been so fulfilling and so fun. If you're not looking to reach out to other people, that's fine. Because the way that you embrace being yourself, you'll attract the people that were meant for you, which is so beautiful. So, if you are tuning in February, today is actually Valentine's Day. Lunar New Year had just passed. For me, I love the brand new year. So my goal was to attack 2024 with all the gumption, do all of the awesome things that I envisioned I'd do in 2024. It was going to be a new me. What I realized was just because I have my plans doesn't mean that I have everything lined up the way that I want for it to happen. And maybe mentally, I wasn't quite prepared for what I was telling myself that I was ready for. So 2024 rolls around and I got sick. I got really sick. I was out that the entire day. I was sleeping. I couldn't do anything. I was just so mentally drained and physically it stank. So for me, it's like, dang it, this is my first day to really start being me and doing all the awesome stuff. But I took a breath and I complained. Okay, so honestly, it really sucked. I wasn't happy about it. And a lot of January was just really rough on me. So when I went on the trip that I mentioned to you guys in the first episode of the Creating Connections podcast, which you can tune into right after this, I shared that I went on a 12-day trip. Now, you might not get a chance to go on a 12-day trip, and that's totally cool. There are other ways to make this happen as a mom, as a busy entrepreneur, as a teacher, as a housewife, whatever it is, there's a way for you to figure out how to take the time that you need for yourself. So, first, in order to take this action, sit down and truly reflect the actions that I've taken this year In 2024, which means it's been a month and a half, or if you're listening to me in the future, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Have I done the things that I've really said I wanted to do to be in alignment with where I want to be? If I want to be healthier, have I taken the steps to consume the things that really provide me with energy? If I wanted to entertain or include exercise in my life, what were the steps that I've taken? Have I created a schedule for myself so that I could fit in some more exercise? If I want to connect more with my friends because we've just really lost touch and I want to have those deep conversations, those really fun conversations that we've had in the past that I used to have before I had my children, the fun and good times. Have you called them? Have you let them know that you miss them? If you've been wanting so badly to be on a podcast with a person you admire, Tim Ferriss, Amy Porterfield, Noah Kagan. No, Noah doesn't have a podcast that I know of, but he just released a book called Million Dollar Weekend, which I'm going through. And it's, again, it fits right into this because it's about taking the action. For him, it's making money. But for you, it's taking the potentially million steps to getting to that dream. But with everything, any successful person will tell you it just takes that first step. But are you in alignment with where you want to be? Are you taking those right actions? Are you making the calls? A lot of times we stop ourselves just because we think about how hard it's going to be or the rejection we might experience. And this is where I'll bring in what I've learned from the book Energy Rising from Dr. Julia DeGangi. I hope I'm saying this right. Your name, anyway. If you're tuning in, thank you so much for being here. But what it is that stops us from doing any of the things that we want to do, being a part of relationships that we know we want to be a part of, or really thriving in relationships or thriving in life and business, all of those things, thriving as a mom. The reason why those things don't happen for us is because we are afraid to have the conversation. We are afraid to do the thing. We are afraid to make the call, to book the flight, to purchase the tools, to reach out and say that we need help. Whatever it is, those actions cause a feeling within us. We feel scared. We feel and fear that we might get rejected. We fear that the outcome might not be what we want. And the beauty in all of this is everything is in alignment to point you in the right direction. So today, your dream might be to be a famous artist, a painter, like my friend Jennifer Rains, who I met during my retreat, who is just fantastic. If you're looking to learn more about painting techniques, I'll drop her link below. But there are so many ways to get started in the things that you want. So let's say you did want to be a famous artist, the famous painter. You take that next step, you buy the right tools and you practice. You start painting, you start tracking your progress, you start recording and documenting the every single step of the way. You continue to do this for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and you discover this isn't quite bringing you joy the way that you hoped. But an art show that you attended, you had a conversation with the owner of the venue, of the art show, of the person hosting it. And they start sharing their dreams of why they started this venue, of what it meant to them to help share other people's work and having a place for artists to really display their passion. And you think maybe it wasn't the creating the art that's what you were meant to do. It was connecting and finding a way to share other people's work and to highlight their passion. But had you not got the tools to start your painting and gone to the show, you never would have had that conversation. So with this, I mean, every single step that we get to, if you can imagine where you are today, if there's anything that you're proud of, which I know because you're listening and you want to do bigger and better things. You want to be more further inspired to take greater steps. I know that's why you're here. So the reason why you achieved that success was because you took steps. You took what felt right in the moment and you did the next thing. For me, I've shared before, it took me 11 years to finally graduate college. Why? Not because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do. I was afraid of doing what I didn't think the people in my life wanted for me to do. So I took classes. I did all of the things that brought me no joy in attending that kind of content and learning the things that I was learning because it didn't take me any closer to my passion. It didn't take me any closer to being happy. But I felt like I was doing exactly what my parents wanted. I felt like I was doing exactly what the Asian culture had expected of me, which was go into the medical field, originally pre-pharmacy. And let me tell you, the work was not something I was cut out for. And I'll be honest about it. And I can be honest about it now because I know that I'm on the right path. I have the full faith that what I'm doing now is exactly where I'm meant to be. Had it not been for that journey that I went through, I wouldn't be here. So after 7 years of attempting pre-pharmacy, changing to healthcare, all within the medical space, the healthcare space, I loved the people. Of course, I loved the people, but I wasn't happy with the content. I can learn about healthcare. I can learn about pharmacy and the drugs and how those processes work, but I can't be creative in that arena. I can't really use my creative, artistic abilities and the skills. And really, if we're to be fair, I'm sure there's a pharmacist out there. If you're a pharmacist who's really creative in your field and in your craft, let me know. How do you utilize that? Let's have a conversation. But for me, because in my heart, I knew that I wanted to be in marketing, I could not fully express myself in healthcare. If I knew that my ability was to be creative in the healthcare space, that would have happened. I would have made it happen. At some point, it would have come together. But I knew that I didn't belong there. I knew that I wasn't doing this for me. So, therefore, it took me years and years and years after failed attempts of graduation or even failed classes because I didn't show up. I didn't want to be there because it wasn't in alignment with my passion and my desires. So there was constant failure. It wasn't until I finally decided, look, I had a conversation with myself. If I don't make a change, I'm never going to graduate. And if I don't graduate, that's fine. I'll find something, I'm sure. But is it more disappointing to continue to go to school for years and years and years and not graduate and waste all of this time? Or is it more disappointing to do the thing that I want to do and graduate? What do my parents care about? If I actually really cared about what they thought, what do they want? They'd rather see me graduate doing the thing that I enjoy than to continue to spin the wheels, continue to waste time and money and resources while I have a child at home and not graduate. So I decided it's time to go and do what's right for me, what my heart really truly wanted. So I made the switch, went into marketing and did all the classes, and I was out within the 3 years that was required to take the classes. Actually, it was 2 years because I already had all the prereqs, but it was easy peasy. It was so much fun. I loved the people there. even more. Why? Because we could have even more impactful conversations about our goals, our mission, our visions, our desires, our creativity, the things that we could do in business, the opportunities that we could explore. And my goodness, I got involved in so much then. People that I'm still connected to this day. Constance, hello. We need to connect again if you're tuning in. But I graduated finally because I went and did what I should have done to begin with, which was do what I wanted to. So the next thing for you is, what does your heart really desire? Are you working in a career that makes you so happy and brings you joy? Even if it's not making you the money or building the relationships and the connections that you feel like you need down the road, is it bringing you joy? If it is, where is the next step? What is the next thing that you can do to get closer to your vision, to get closer to the core mission of where you want to be? If you are stuck in a place that doesn't bring you any happiness, but it is building the relationships and it is bringing in the monetary aspect that allows you to live the life of freedom in a way that you have a place that makes you happy, or you are able to provide for your family, then let's think about what kind of steps we can take to build a plan that makes sense, that can support you for your greater mission, for the core reason of why you are here. And even as I discussed that, that's something that I struggled with for very many years. Why am I here? What does it mean to be myself? What does it mean to really truly be happy and find happiness? To do things that light me up. And I honestly don't have a clear answer for you there. I'm going to be very honest. But it starts with doing the one thing that makes you happy now. What is that thing that makes you happy that you've been wanting to do, but you haven't done just because you're scared? What makes you really scared? The thing that intimidates you the most is what's going to get you closer to where you want to be, to that thing that you desire. So, what I would say, instead of who am I? How do I be more of me? What is that dream that I really want to explore and take part in? Is, what is the thing that's been scaring me for so long, because I've been afraid of what people will think. I've been afraid of how successful I'll be if I choose to go down this path. I'm afraid of whether or not I have what it takes to really be successful. I'm afraid of so many things you could be afraid of. This podcast would never end. This episode would go on forever if I list all the things you're afraid of. But take that step. Find a way to get to the next thing that makes what you've been so afraid of happen. If you don't have the right tools, but if you think a little bit, I'm sure you are either suppressing the resources that you know you have, or you're just not opening your eyes to it. If you don't have the tools, if you really don't have the tools, and you know you have the dream, reach out to me. I call myself the Queen of Connections because I love connecting with people. I know people from all industries, all sorts of different fields. And the thing that I love about it is I'm so happy to share my resources, and I'm happy to connect with people who can help one another and really support one another and be aligned in their missions to create a greater impact, because you could do it alone. But if you do it with the people who share the same vision and the same passion, you can get there so much faster. You can get so much further, and you can do so much more good. If you connect with the right people, if you hold hands and we create this greater mission, which means you and I can create that greater mission. What does that look like for you? If you really truly feel like you don't have the resources, connect with me. I am happy to rack my brain or go through my entire source of connections, every single person that I'm connected to online, in person, through whatever community I'm a part of, to find you at least a starting point. So I hope that that has helped you today, really finding what has scared you so much to go towards. What have you found success in that you are so proud of that you can think of the little steps, the little things that lined up to that point of success, that point of feeling of success, or that award or that achievement, just internal achievement, even if that's the case? Identifying and clarifying those things will help you to get closer to where you want to be. And I think the really cool thing is where you want to be doesn't necessarily have to mean it's a specific location. For me, I want to be in Bora Bora one day. I want to spend really great quality time with my spouse there. It's been a dream of ours since we started really truly connecting and getting to know each other. But I also know that another destination for me is internal. To feel really good about what I'm doing, to feel like I'm truly creating an impact in the lives of others, the people that I'm connected with, just small wins is where it starts. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Teresa was really able to help me in getting my course started. I was on Josh's podcast and we had such a fantastic time. And that was where I met Ellen, who then connected me with the owner of this business. All of these links are going to come together to build a really strong chain that will take you each step of the way to what you're desiring, what you have and are holding in your heart that maybe you haven't released and put into the world. But I hope that you have been inspired today to put it into the world and find the support or the resources you need to take that next step. I'm here for you. If you are looking to share your voice and expand your message, I invite you to join my Creating Connections Facebook group, where we have amazing podcast hosts and guests who are connecting with people who are aligned and are sharing a similar message to their audience. And the whole goal is to gain visibility. If you're a host looking for an expert or someone in a field of expertise that fits for your podcast, my community hopefully will get you an awesome and excellent guest that you might not have ever found otherwise. And if you are a person who is skilled in a message or have just a really deep message to share, let's find you a podcast that makes sense for your message and help to really grow that core belief, that impact that you're going to create. Amplify your voice. I invite you to join me there. Now, if you found any value in this episode, if you enjoyed listening to me for just a little bit, even at least, I would so appreciate it if you hit subscribe, because in the future, it's going to be you. I'm going to be sharing your story. We're going to be having conversations about how you found success, about how you found joy and happiness in life, in whatever aspect that looks like for you. So, Creating Connections, like I've mentioned to several people in my life, is going to feature more of people who I love, who I am so inspired by, who are doing the things that most people wish they could do, that I know they can do. The goal is once those stories are shared, it sparks something within you so that the magic comes out fully and you can be one of those people that you admire, that you look up to, and that you're living that life. And you're sharing your message so that others can look to you and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe Emily is doing this. Look how awesome. Emily is so much like me. If she can do this, I know that I can too. And that's where we say, thank you, Emily, for sharing your voice. Thank you, Stephen, for getting your message out there, for doing what you've always wanted to do, to allow others the space to believe in themselves to do the same. I'll end with this message before I invite you to other things, but when you fully live and breathe and believe in who you are and you show up as you, you're giving other people permission to do the same. And I can't tell you how far that's taken me because I've aligned myself and connected with people who are really truly living their best life and are so dedicated in their message and in their work that I get inspired and I get the desire and the freedom to say, you know what, maybe I can try. Maybe I can do a little bit more of this. Maybe I can be a little bit more of myself. Maybe I can share like the weird, awkward aspects of who I am, and I'll still be loved. And in fact, I'll be loved even more because it'll be a more exciting experience to be in my space. It'll be more fun because I get to share and be authentic and genuine in who I am instead of wearing that mask and having to feel like I have to fake any part of this. So let me know, please, what really resonated with you. If this episode or any message within this episode has created any impact for you, I'd love to know below. If you are moved by this, I would so appreciate a review. I'll leave all the links below. And then last but not least, if we aren't connected on social media, you can find me with my handle, Connections Queen. I know I couldn't believe that it was available either when I looked it up. I was like, this is a first sign, the first step, right? Just because I got the handle doesn't mean that I got to where I am now. And it wasn't very long ago. But I'll tell you, when you look back on this, a few years from now, when I look back on this a few years from now, I'm going to be like, geez, I've come a long way. And you can go a long way as well. Let's go together. So connect with me on all the social media places, but especially where you show up, because I want to know where you're going to start. What is that next step for you? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Let's start creating connections.